What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Let's go. Rational market open today. NASDAQ and S&P moving way too far at the open. We got some earnings today. Big dogs in the Apple Google day today. Yeah, so this is going to be pretty nice. Interesting to see how this works out. I think the market will have very little activity from me if I do anything at all. I hate scalping this far outside of the bands. But we'll see how it goes. What's up, Justin? Good morning. Lori, Chris, Joe, John. Love you guys. Getting started here. All right. Draw my red lines. You guys know the drill. Oh, somebody told me I should make a channel called Red Lines, right? What a great idea. What's up? Good morning. Okay, everybody. How you doing? Okay, we're 30 minutes earlier today. I guess we're 15 minutes earlier. Let me make a duplicate channel real quick. We're going to call it Matt's Red Lines, right? I love it. Y'all been asking for it. I guess we should do that. So we get this programmed into our stuff. Best way to go. Already starting to write the code for the permanent installation myself. Once we get our features data programmed into Rocket Scooter, it's gonna be a game changer. Game changer for me, because I'm gonna have less manual work to do every morning. I'll be so excited about that. Let's turn this music down a little bit. Ooh. So I'm thrilled. So until then, 984. Okay. And 4062. Don't forget to smash that like button, friends, while y'all waiting around. 404111. Okay. They give me a Celsius here. You guys Celsius fans? Okay. I'm gonna pop up some of my red lines chart here. This is another thing that I'm gonna do. Ignore it if you've never seen it before, but what we're gonna do going forward is I'm gonna share this until we get it programmed into the platform. These are gonna be what's called illiquidity pivots. It's gonna look dirty, I know. Don't ignore what you see if you've never seen it before. But what it is these levels, these catalyst levels, are for people that know what they are. And we just mark them up. And these are called illiquidity pivots. Anytime you're irrational like we are today, a market's going to move very wildly in these illiquidity pivot zones. So stepping outside of like our normal liquidity pocket stuff, these are going to be, and I'll start doing this for the channel. It's going to seem, let's not do that. Let's like make it like right here. Nice and condensed. Okay. So what I'll do is I have Matt's Red Lines channel and I will put them in there. You guys can have these pivots, right? Because they are referenceable and I talk about them all the time. These go kind of beyond the scope of Rocket Scooter's current offering since we don't have our futures data yet. I still manually do these, but these are the most important pivots that you have because right now the market's gonna be irrational. I have a lot of stuff going forward. So everybody's gonna want to see what these are. The most important one's gonna be the S&P, but with NASDAQ stocks today going into earnings, leading the way, it's probably gonna be important that we do keep an eye out on this yellow line of NASDAQ right here. Cool. All right, 6-day streak, y'all. If you remember, last time we did a small count challenge, I got really lucky out the door and people say there's no way that that was true or yada yada, and people don't believe it, but it's true. Y'all are watching it right now. It's 5-day streak. Well, the last time there was a 70, like 7-0. I didn't lose a trade until month 4. And that was, I always try to be fair and attribute everything to luck, but I mean, clearly I'm just being modest. Y'all know and again, it's not about streaks, right? That's something you have to be careful because you're not supposed to trade like you're invincible or even believe you're on a streak. So you have to pretend like it's not happening, even though it's fun to say. Yeah. MK says it's about how much and lose a lot. Exactly, right? And for me, I'm very cautious. Like in the 5 days, I've actually set out 2 of the days, irrational days I sit out. But being picky, you know, nobody can really complain about 11% in the first week, right? And it's not risky. It's everything's perfectly calculated from the position size to the risk I take. So if I choose to sit out or don't sit out, I mean, there's a lot of technique that goes into this. And we teach this to you guys. We'd love to share this. This method is pretty cool. If you haven't checked out our Rocket Scooter stuff, we'll tell you about it in a little bit. Just in the meantime, just kind of chill while we get our I'm gonna put my DD bands on here. I just started designing some of the stuff for what our rules system will be, which is like we've talked about that before. There are massive changes coming through, and it's like every time I start talking to my devs, we get deeper and deeper into it. There's a patch supposed to come out this weekend, which is a huge patch. I reviewed it last night. And I kicked it out another week because I want to add some things and change some things. The new patch coming out, you'll be able to save your entire window layout, which means how you arrange your screen. You're going to click a button. It will save it for you and remember that for you. That's something we've been wanting for a long time. That's a pretty cool change. A lot more stuff that's going to come out. I'll read you guys the list. I reviewed everything last night. We have some cosmetic changes to this on how the date's displayed single date. Single date will now draw liquidity map in the future. If you pick a date in the future, that's a big new thing. We're going to release our new product, Rocket Scooter Lite, a brand new product release. That's going to come out this weekend. Custom programmable rules and strategies that will now be able to be programmed to what's called a rule database. You'll be able to add rules to your scanner that you make yourself. You're going to add the rules, everything else, which will function into like rules that turn off your drawings, right? So that's the starting point of that. The first thing will be able to add rules to the scanner. So you're going to be able to design a rule. When you click add, you'll have like, this is going to go into like categories like pre-programmed custom rules. Load your custom rule in here, program your custom rule. That's coming out in the same patch. DD is getting its own graph in the small chart here. DD has been updated to, actually this DD is actually in real time. So DD has been updated to facilitate a chart for DD if you want to watch it change on like crash days. That's coming out. The idea in here that you can select batches of bull stocks at one time, or batches of bull setups at one time, and also change some of the names of these to make them more descriptive. So huge patch. I love it. The API for monthly maps is just now being completed. Went to this meeting a couple days ago on that. Working on that. Monthly maps will be coming in the subsequent patch with this batch that I just mentioned now. So monthly maps will extend the drawing features to draw the actual monthly map, which is the options swing traders best tools that we have. It is a fan favorite amongst our options trading friends. And it will be something, we have videos on it, and the technique is one of the best things, especially when it comes to earnings, to gauge anything from volatility to like where I aim, where I buy and when I sell. So this entire technique allows me to know when markets are becoming more or less volatile, and in that range, enter some green boxes here. In that range, we'll be able to say like when's a good time to buy options and when's a good time to sell options based on the change of volatility. The expected volatility is so cool. We made a video on this, which I can kind of share with you if y'all want some pre-market goodies. Oops, not PL, but Apple. This is part of, I guess, the Apple monthly map. I think I drew this on there. So monthly maps will kind of look like this. I did a demonstration of it. Since Apple has earnings, what you can see is that as we aim at the different expiration dates, and this is what the walls or the zones look like this Friday, next Friday, next Friday. So you can see that Apple gets a little more volatile. The space between the zones represents the volatility, and the volatility crunches. So we have kind of a mild expectation for Apple going into this earnings, and we'll actually run it for today and see if this changes. But you can see that like way a monthly map works is pretty cool, because this is where the market is bullish. Even though Apple is like trading in a range, it's still bullish at this price, and even next week and the week after, it's still considered bullish at this price. So if Apple dipped into bear territory this week and stayed here and closed out the week here, it's still bullish for the next week. So it's telling me how far it can dip for me to want to buy. This is like a revolutionary technique that's telling me that maybe people are bearish here for this week, but a week later, it has to fall so far for them to be bearish, right? So people are willing to be a bull at a lower spot, and this is the bull side. If people are willing to buy lower, the bulls are becoming more bullish. And if people have to have it go shorter to be bearish or lower, then bears are becoming less bearish. So not only are bulls becoming more bullish, but shorts are becoming less desirable to be short. So it tells me that Apple has potential bull resists there on each of those weeks. Just an example of how maps would work. It's a pretty sweet technique. I like it. And so options trading would allow me to be able to like structure that trade. If I was long Apple and wanted to sell, you know, if I was long Apple and it dipped to here, right? A good example. Dipped to here and started trading lower. Now I'm in trouble. Say I have Apple in my portfolio for my retirement, and I wanted to make a little cash as it's trading inside of here. I could sell covered calls in the bull zone because it's not bullish. Remember, these mean reversions for that week are kind of stuck in here. And I could actually, as long as it's trading down, I can use this to sell covered calls, right? To make a little income on my stock as it's falling. And of course, if it goes in the money, then I can close out those calls. Essentially, people sell calls against shares they own. That's a income making technique for people that are investors. Some little tricks there, but monthly maps kind of a cool thing. That's gonna be out in the next patch as well. So I'm excited to share all this with you guys. Let's open up pre-market in the morning. Let's look at the news. Nothing crazy going on. What about the DD on NQ? Oh, let's do it. Let's go ahead and remove some of these things. Is this a gap fill? No, that is a gap fill here. Let's mark some of the QQQ gap fills because we need to have these ready to go. Oops. Okay. Let me should get like right on the edge there. Yeah, we're irrational at the open, so it's going to be a very, very, very light day. There's a very small chance I might do anything. If I were to guess, the market is going to trade up and probably have a wick and then slam back down. So I love these big days like this that go up and trade down. I might actually be looking for shorts to scalp back to a support, depending on what resilience does look like. Obviously, we have two major earnings today. So the first thing you do every day is a trick. Those of you new folks here, go inside your charts and make sure you mark gap fills. This is the number one thing that you do whenever you're looking for imbalance to balance. Gap fills are the best thing to find. So I mark mine with a white line like so. I have my DD bands already marked right here, ready to go. There's my upper gap. QQQ has a yellow line coming up similar somewhere in here. So there's a higher resistance up in this area. And I'll probably be looking for some bull long up to press it and short. So I might do a flip-flop trade today. These days, like this on the irrational upside, I've already touched the upper DD band, so the rule that we have with that will not actually be applied today. And yeah, so we have some pretty cool tricks. We'll teach them all to y'all. Wow, it's the first time we've had almost 100 people pre-market. Jeez Louise. Y'all are really supporting the stream. We love you guys. That's the age-old adage, right? I mean, you just show your trades. I mean, that's such a rare commodity in the YouTube world. Is actually show real trading that's live from a real account. I don't know anyone else that does it, to be honest. A couple people trade live Tracer Matt does, and I love Tracer Matt. He's awesome. But other than that, I don't really see anyone else trading live in the mornings. So I'm glad you guys tune in. Y'all like some trading action. Y'all get to watch me sweat it out. It's very flattering. So we appreciate you guys supporting what we've made, what we built. The Rock Scooter effort has been a 3-year process, and we're so glad to be able to share it with you guys. Tear. We might get that like button smash real quick. Morgan waiting here. We'll go over the pre-market stuff in just a little bit. Market open in 7 minutes. How many colors are you gonna get into your chart today, bro? You know, I'm about to vomit in my mouth a little bit as it is. I know, right? Wait, I know, so many colors. Bleh. Gosh, this reminds me of some technical analysis. Bleh, bleh. Right, I even draw a risk interval box just to have some fun with it. The red lines are going to be pivots. You don't consider any illiquidity support. So what these two things are is part of our Alexa. This is a technique off of an event. When an event becomes a catalyst, right, is when you have an anchor point that moves the distance of this box. This is just a kind of a quickie introduction to this. The event moves the distance of this box, which it did. This causes what's called a catalyst. You know, the market went crazy. So we mark these red lines. They're called illiquidity pivots. There's 2 of them that surface off of that press conference. So they are high volume pivots. And the rule is basically this. If you return to here, you will guarantee high volume here and here. So these are high volume pivots that surface. It's outside of the scope of current rocket scooter because we don't have futures data, but this is derived from futures. So the neat thing about liquidity maps is they are derived from equities data, like options data, for instance. For SPY, these are pivots in futures itself. So we're overlaying the future stuff on top of the SPY stuff, if that makes any sense. So in the futures world, there will be guaranteed high volume pivot here and here, just like in equities, there's pivots, hedge pressure, monthly hedge pressure, etc. So I mark them just to know whenever you're irrational, markets tend to move wider and faster. We like to have these red lines and yellow lines handy on those days. And yellow line on SPY is pretty far away. The market will move in these big volatile moves to connect to these pivots, right? So we use them as far. We have a video called Picking Price Targets. It talks about my 4 exit targets on any trade. One of them's gap fills, right? One of them's an opposing wall, so a bull zone will hit a bear zone. The other 2 are these yellow and red lines. Special cases, and we do monitor and mark them. And Rocket Scooter releases once we have this program in there after our futures data comes in. You'll be able to turn different ones on and off and have a mode that automatically draws the next resistance regardless of what it is. So if you have a mode that says draw next resistance, instead of having as Travis is memeing pretty hard because we always make fun of like technical analysis garbage sellers that really just sell you like a coloring book that's already colored. Like if a 2-year-old took markers and drew on the wall and they call it an algorithm or a technical analysis machine or whatever, and there's colors and patterns everywhere, and I always make fun of that. He's making fun of me because it's all on there. So the neat thing about what we'll do is there's gonna be an automatic algorithm that's going to turn off and turn on whichever resistances you want to see or show the next resistance. Picture pages, dude, the old picture pages with Bill Cosby from Sesame Street. With his marker, what was it, Mortimus the marker or whatever? Was that Matty B? I remember those days. His marker would go mew, 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 mew when he would draw with it. Oh, what the button? I remember what Mortimus or something like that. Dude, I'm digging into my memory from when I was 2. It's been a while. Holy shit. But anyways, next resistance would actually show whichever the next resistance is instead of having the color explosion to poison your retinas. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. Click that like button while you're waiting. You always thought he made those noises with his mouth. Wait, you're telling me the marker wasn't really magical? I don't believe that. I believe the marker was magical entity creating magic. He was real. No. Okay. Everybody make sure you go to Discord, get your liquidity master getting ready to go. Market's opening in 2 minutes. Let's take a look at the calendar today. Big thing. We'll talk about this going into the session, but we do have initial and continuing jobless claims today supporting the fundamental thesis. Let's see what we got. We're irrational, so I'm doing nothing quick at the open. We had this is the initial jobless claims, came in lower. You want jobless claims to come in higher. I know it sounds really morbid to say that, but when these are coming lower, it's less incentive for the Fed to do anything to the job market against the jolts, right? So fewer and fewer people are getting laid off, which means we just went through that batch of layoffs, and fewer the layoffs are starting to taper. So this is the amount of people that are filing unemployment. So eventually, like, the number of companies laying off their 5 or 10% is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And we actually come in even less than expectations. Not the most bullish thing in the short term, but definitely bullish for the long term to show stability. Continuing jobless claims of people getting their jobs back, basically. Like, who's still on unemployment? That guy came in relatively, it came in as a beat, but again, fewer people are available for filing like more unemployment after the first week. So some people are getting their jobs back and fewer people are getting laid off. It's a decent sign for the economy. Again, kind of like for the longer term. Tomorrow we have non-farms. That's going to be the big catalyst. And of course, today we have earnings coming up. After market, we have the Apple Google Day. It's always a fun day. Of course, when it comes to the Dow Jones, you have also Amazon. You're going to have like Ford and some others. ConocoPhillips, Honeywell, Starbucks. This is big. Today's a big earnings day. We're already opening irrational outside the bands. So be careful today. At rational days, I typically sit out from the start. Yo, what up, New Age? What's up, my man? How you doing? By the way, if you guys don't know, hey, drop your Twitter in here, buddy. It's a friend of mine. Fellow Texan. Also got a trading group. So I just stop in. Feel free to drop in your Twitter. You guys give him a follow. All right, market's open. Let's go. We are irrational in Nasdaq to the upside. Be careful. Rational S&P to the upside. Be careful. Let's go ahead and get a measure of this. So I'm not going to take really any aggressive trading out the door. I'm going to be very cautious in what I do. Make sure I got my risk interval programmed right here. Looks like the walls have just come in on the S&P. That's good to see that we're a long up. I like to see that. Let's get that monthly hedge for sure coming through. You know what I'm going to do? I want to put on that lo-fi stuff that I was listening to yesterday. I love lo-fi. Much better. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, we've already hit that upper band right here. A bull long up is a trade down to hedge pressure, which I want to see. I don't know if I do want to short this, though. Let's see what resilience is coming out the door. We do have a slightly positive resilience, and we are inside of a very large redistribution zone. This is great. Redistribution zone scalping is one of my favorites. Let's go ahead and open this back up and open this back up. Let's look at EVXY really quick. We have been trading down the VIX. The VIX has hit a yellow line, which is very important to understand. If you guys don't have that, it's 18.3 from December. So VX yellow line 18.3. Just give you guys that. That is a bounce, which VIX yellow line could be kind of really rapid pivoting on VIX. So be careful. Today, nothing really alarming there. And let's look at QQQ. Out the door, QQQ, BLU as well. Resilience is kind of falling pretty rapidly. We have earnings today. These are both positive, which means the top of the open is likely to stay support for a little bit until resilience goes negative. Now, we are irrational, so irrational means don't use resilience today as your decision maker because it's going to be lagging or not determinably leading the market, right? So that's something you have to know. How about Powell not taking a single shot at the market when asked about the disconnect between Fed and market expectations moving forward? Because Powell doesn't want to say that they are raising rates to induce layoffs. It just sounds morbid, but it's the smart thing to do. And the Fed is literally sitting there saying, okay, how can we force companies to lay off the Goldilocks amount of people? Not 50%, not 30%, but 5% and 10%. Let's drive this boat so carefully. You're like those cars, like the Italian Job, right? Use like the little Mini Coopers, like driving between the alleyways of like two houses, and it's like there's like 2 inches of clearance on each side. The Fed is like doing that, right? If you induce just the right amount of layoffs, you will create the chain reaction that self-corrects inflation. That's what they did. So like they don't want to address the market because he just doesn't want to lie on camera because it just sounds mean. Like he'll have to be like, yeah, we're just going to force like 5 or 10% of you out of your jobs, you lazy fuckers that are sitting at home still collecting a paycheck 2 years after COVID and surfing Reddit for a living. You're the reason wages are high. You don't deserve your $150K a year or your house that you bought for twice the value. You need to get fired for the sake of everyone else. And so it just sounds mean. And he wants to, for right reasons, nobody will understand for the greater good that is the appropriate solution. Because raising rates by itself does not create the effect of deflating the inflation, because the type of inflation has nothing to do with banks or credit, which is typically what raising rates can destimulate, right? I want to say that resilience kind of fall below zero. I like that it's kind of going nowhere. It might make me want to short against the RDZ though. Dealers even more net short. That supports my bigger bearish thesis that after earnings reports come through for this quarter, the market's going to turn around and take another leg down. I'll talk about that later too. No trades out the door because we did hit that irrational area. Nasdaq's still pushing forward. I'm debating on if I want to short or not. Like, let's get the Nasdaq resilience again. Now, again, resiliences are delayed and not leading indicators. Once you hit that irrational territory, we know that. So today it's kind of like almost being like a maverick to pivot this. Like, what do I want to do? We do have a gap fill at 310 on Qs. If I did want to do any illiquidity pivots, I probably would let it tap the gap fill and then short it. I don't want to do anything just yet. I'm going to let the market move up higher, and I don't want to take the long either. What y'all doing today? Let's run the scanner. Let's look for some breakouts. So now, if you guys want to use the Rocket Scooter scanner, watch. Let's find some bull breakouts. First thing I'm gonna do is gonna search for any bull long up stocks, and let's look for some with high volume. Obviously, Meta, Soxel's looking hella good today. But again, everything gapped up, and it's kind of one of those. When markets move up this high, I'm gonna look for an adequate dip to buy. If I am a bull in anything, I'll always buy off a half gap and close if I'm looking for like a play off of these things. Right now, I'll just be honest. I think we're gonna have a kind of a large range today that will probably end flat. So this feeling I have today is that I wouldn't be taking a bet on a breakout or a crash either. Those of you, if you want access to our Discord and the Rocket Scooter free trial, y'all want to catch the wave of virality. Our opening deal, by the way, of half price for life is going away very soon. So y'all are going to be back. If you don't get in soon, all of our data we ever have, when we get futures, crypto, Forex, all that stuff that comes out, you'll get whatever tools and things that we have available for free with your membership. All like, you know, basically what we call the pro. Like, imagine you have trading units like select your data and you just want to click all of them and have everything available in your platform. Our new thing is you have $99 a month to get everything, and that's a half price off of the 200. That's going away very soon. And so your 99 for life is going to be away. If you're like on the fence, you're like, I just want to kind of get in and try it out. We have two ways to do it. We have an extended trial for 3 months, and we have the 99 thing. That's probably the best thing you'll be able to do, because the full version of the platform will likely be 250 to 300 when you get all the data feeds turned on. So not everybody's going to want to do that. If you're not a crypto trader, you're certainly not going to want crypto data. But if you want to like lock in everything we have for free, go do this. Our first 1,000 members can use this coupon, and it's for the rest of your life. And that's everything. And I'm gonna tell you something really cool. Forever. We're about to, over the weekend, we're about to get maybe like 500 to 1,000 new members like overnight. So that's gonna come with a whole lot of, imagine like what you learn with Rocket Scooter. Imagine doubling your education with a whole new thing, with a whole new champ, a whole new group. That's going to come with that too. So I'd love you guys to check out the platform, support the development. We have so many cool features coming out. If you can, if anything, just click that like button. We love having you here. Will I apply all the monthly payments you made in a lifetime? Unfortunately, I can't. I wish I could. All your monthly payments just paid people's salaries. We love you for that though, Chase. Yeah, probably data sell spreads. I think that'd be probably cool. Okay, you want to find some breakout or breakdowns in the scanner. Watch this. Let's go ahead and undo everything. Let's actually remove a liquidity map together. How do we find breakouts and how do we find breakdowns with the scanner? One of the best things in the world. MHP breaks are what called gamma squeezes, right? So if I click that, all of a sudden I can rank everything on this list by distance to hedge pressure. Things that are right on the edge of distance to hedge pressure are things that are breaking out. And I want to find something that I know I either like or has a high volume. Like Johnson & Johnson today, MHP break. So when I click on it and it loads up, it'll show that we have had a push through MHP. So when you push through MHP, it causes unusual volatility and a gamma squeeze. So an example is if I were bullish, a breakthrough here has me longing to a next resistance. So like as a potential play, that can do that. Now, if you guys remember Peloton, I tweeted that a couple days ago. We're out the scanner, same thing. We had and my tweet was literally this: I don't believe in the company, but momentum is momentum, right? I think John was playing Peloton. I didn't take it, but there you go. Right? The Peloton break happened here on this day when I made the tweet. I think it was the 27th, somewhere in here. And that gamma squeeze finally caught up with himself as it was pushing right through here. I think that the target I even had was like not even that high. It was like down here. But the idea is that once you kill into that, or like, you know, kill that gamma barrier, the market takes off very rapidly. It's really neat to see that. Lululemon, similar kind of setup here. How much is lifetime? It is currently $3,000, but there's a 10% off coupon. And after the merger, lifetime is going to go up. So it's no longer going to be $3,000. By the end of Rocket Scooter's development, it'll be closer to $5,000. Because lifetime comes with everything for the rest of your life. Imagine us paying your data feeds for you for the rest of your life. So it's a lot of money. Can you pay with crypto? Oh no. Sorry about that. I wish I could accept payment with crypto, but I just don't believe in crypto and I don't support it. So I wouldn't take crypto as a payment any more than I'd take your Dave and Buster tickets. No offense. Or you could pay with chocolate coins. I'd take that over crypto any day. I love it though. I always make fun, but I just don't. In this environment, crypto as a utility is not realized yet. So I went to the Bitcoin conference to go and I had to buy tacos from a taco truck. They didn't even accept they didn't accept crypto. I had to pay in US dollars and had to shove $1 in a Coke machine to get myself a Mountain Dew. So I found that irony and hilarity very fun. So while I'm just joking with you, Alexa, I can't take it. Actually, really can't take it just because I don't have the ability to take it. I don't think I've ever owned a single wallet in my whole life. With crypto, it tells me it's just not ready yet. It's like .com. See, people would have laughed if you said you live your life on a computer or the internet in 1998. People would tell you you're an idiot for being the geek in the room with the computer. And I was the geek in the room with the computer. I was like, just wait. The internet will be the rest of your life forever and ever. People are like, whatever, nerd, whatever. And look at all of us now. Now we're all nerds on computers. So the crypto people are ultimately right. They're just early by about 20 years. So let's not get into a heavy debate on that. But crypto is like the .com in the 2020s. 2030, 2040, you'll be digital currency out the wazoo and you won't be having paper money in your wallet anymore. That's for damn sure. But government don't change its stripes very quickly, as you know. This is gonna be a very long process to get any kind of digital currency into the mainstream, into the hands of the Treasury to pay your tax. I mean, the IRS pay your taxes. So yeah. Oh, let's do DD really quick. It looks like we hit that threshold. Hold on one second. Okay, so DD isn't showing because we have it's 0.89 though. It's 0.89. We have this threshold that doesn't show it after a certain point or until a certain point, but it's going to be 89. It is in the high 89 level. And Alexa, the only thing we can take is a card. So yeah, we'd love for you guys to check out Lifetime as well. It's a pretty cool thing. And you guys have been such loyal supporting fans. You feel bearish on SPY if you agree. I do feel bearish on something, and I'm looking for yellow lines to kind of give me that target to pull around. There's a 42.16 on SPY. I do think we're going to have a very wide volatile day that's going to likely end up in the middle after earnings. All right, so breakdowns, right? Let's find some breakdown stocks, and this is how this works. Again, I'll show you how the scanner. If you guys, everybody get the Rocket Scooter free trial, you can play at the scanner. It's pretty cool. So let's find some like hedge pressure breakdowns if you're looking for something to short. All I have to do is click one button. Then now you can find things that are right on hedge pressure. We know that when you break through hedge pressures, markets are rational and like to fall pretty quick. Bank of America, right? As you see, great indication that Bank of America is looking a little oof, right? And this is actually an illiquidity pocket. Shorting from here to here is not a terrible, terrible idea. I know this is probably the worst decision I've ever made in my life to click NASDAQ right now. This irrational setup. Looking weird. So Bank of America's fallen through. PPG, right? We're looking for distance to hedge pressure. So things that are just falling and hitting those limits look like they're going to break down to the downside. And again, illiquidity falling through a bear zone like that. Really scary. The Dow is falling compared to ES and NASDAQ. Why? Well, earnings, Itai. So today you have Apple, Google. You have big tech earnings today, right? Apple, Google, Amazon. So obviously, clearly those stocks with as high a market cap as they are going to weigh the NASDAQ slightly heavier than other stocks like we saw today, like Bank of America, PPG. Some of these other stocks are breaking down. You can see different sectors in the entire XLB is breaking hedge pressure. So you're having certain sectors in the S&P weaker than others. Honeywell and Merck shit the bed. Yeah, there's like a bunch of Travis's lifetime value is really great and really worth it. Yeah, it's great because you can come here and meme my colorful charts every day like Travis does. You get the right to talk shit on the lifetime group. It's like a really cool community. Actually, it's a really cool community. Everyone there, it's like almost like a, I don't want to say fraternity because that's very patriarchal, but it's like a secret society. Let's just say that. It's certainly a brotherhood, sisterhood kind of feel to it. It's a very interesting dynamic we have in our group. Everyone's super cool. 10 points. Yeah, sure. Definitely. Yeah, this is irrational day. I'm not too excited to push anything. And actually, let's take a look at what's really, I think, appropriate for today. Is look, I have no real gauges other than the S&P hits the upper DD band. Any upside, look at this. We might have a second pivot when Russell hits. Then it's going to give me some kind of particular resistance to maybe, again, justify any kind of move out of this. So I wonder if once we hit here, everything else might pivot. So a couple more burps up on the NASDAQ. Like I said, I'm not going to short a really strong bull signal, but I do know we have big tech earnings coming up. This might be a good time for me to build something if I can justify it. But I don't have anything that justifies anything just yet. Yeah, and we want you guys to check out the free trial of the software. It does come with your active data feeds. It does come with, we have the full education. After the merger, you'll have 2 different education routes to take. We're revamping the website to make it easier to learn all this stuff. We'll train you from trading whatever style you trade from A to B. Comes with a whole lot of rules that we follow. And of course, today, the rules that I have, we have irrational flags, which tell me to sit out on the market. That's what irrational means. So what I do is when the market is open too far, too fast, just the quickie education. These bands right here, these green bands that I've drawn on here, it's a calculation that we do teach. The bot gives you the answer every day. This is, oh, and resilience is negative too. Ooh, okay, hold on. What about NASDAQ is still positive and falling? So NASDAQ is floating the market. Now, resilience, remember, when irrational, resilience does delay and lag the market, right? So I don't use this as a leading indicator as much. And the fact that it's hugging 0, I still don't want to use it. Amazon has negative earning report. Resilience is negative. Yeah, but remember, when you're irrational in the index, resilience, don't use it. That's the rule. It's lagging, right? And there's that DD band tap again. Let's see if I got something here. VIX is just over. Okay, Russell just hit. I'm going to take a short on Qs just because Russell just hit its DD band, and I think that that's going to be an actionable pivot. I hate trading the SPAS deck, but that's the one that's moved the fastest. So I'm trying to get in on little red candles here, something really small. I was looking like really small. 4, that's it. I know it's probably a bad decision, but it will. Okay, 5. Half my position. Irrational, it's a gamble, whatever. Russell hit its upper DD. Remember, resilience on the S&P looks bad. We also have tech earnings. I want to assume reverting to mean going for the rest of the day. This R&R, like I said, I'll give myself maybe 40 points of loss on NASDAQ. The gain on the front side is about 120. If it does fall down to connect with the DD band on QQQ. So what I'm looking for here, let's run monthly mode just to have something on the table to take a look at where these zones will be on the monthly side. This is monthly redistribution. I am going to take a bet that the S&P is likely going to pull the rest of the market lower. We have overextended. I'm not betting on a reversal at all, but the S&P resilience being negative and the S&P at its DD band. And the reason I picked NASDAQ is the one that stretched the farthest, and we have earnings today. I don't think the NASDAQ has any reason to rally really hard. Going into earnings just sounds really silly. So let's go ahead and revert this back to mean. I think between the two, let's get a second chart out. I'm going to put SPY and QQQ right next to each other. Again, this is again an off the cuff, so this is not a textbook scalp. The textbook answer is sit out, right? That is typically the textbook answer. In irrational territory. Where is my... Okay, here we go. Oh shit, there goes my trade. All right, I like it. Oh, I already have that done. Okay, cool. Let's do QQQ here. Right there, it's good. I mean, I'll take it. That's a pretty good trade. I like it. Okay. That's like 300 bucks I didn't have. Okay, well, that's good. Again, like I said, I really would like to not be a little bitch about it, but I'm still sitting here fumbling with my stuff. Let me close that real quick. I might take another one. Let me just make sure I got everything set up here. I didn't pre-plan to have NASDAQ. You learn, you learn. Oh, well, okay, here we go. Great, not a bad, terrible trade. When I close at 700? Okay, let me get my footing here really quick. I know they're a little messy on the sidelines. Close all this stuff down. The save layout's coming out very, very, very quickly, so I'm excited to release that to you guys. I want y'all to do me a favor. Every time I make an awesome trade or a winning trade, let's do something funny. Let's be hilarious, right? Let's like totes be streamers. Let's type in some rockets. Do lame stuff, or, you know. And every time I lose a trade, I want y'all to like talk shit and make fun of me for being stupid. You know, actually, no. If I do something stupid, right? Like a risky thing, I want y'all to make fun of me. I mean, that's appropriate, right? Y'all need to kick my ass when I'm doing the wrong things. Y'all get some rockets in the chat. Let's go. Boy, oh boy. Like I said, not really craziest thing I've done is showing outside the DD band. Like I said, get in, get out. The reason I closed is because QQQ hit the upper RDZ, and that is exactly why I closed. Remember, scalps are a little... Scalping is an art form. I shorted when RTY hit its upper band. Let me show you this. When you're trading the indices, here's a trick, futures traders. You must watch all 3 of them at once. I'm going to promise you something. You will learn that you will find little baby scalps here and there, And it'll be the best thing you ever learned. I watch all three at once. You see this when Russell hit its DD band. I even said that about 20 minutes ago. I'm going to take a little bit of a short. And I took the short NASDAQ because it's the one that's the move the farthest. That's a very obvious thing. And then why'd I get out right here? Because this is a high volume pivot because it's the upper redistribution zone band. You see how I just said a quick scalp for 300 bucks? Another 3% on the account. I'm in, I'm out, and market's irrational. Why am I not holding it to turn around and crash? Because I trade from pivot to pivot and I look for opportunities and I'm the first in and first out, which in this case, I was the first in and first out. That's what trading is all about. Do we got it? Get multiple monitors. It helps. Yeah, I got 8 monitors, man. Ugh. Isn't that crazy? But not all of them are used for trading. Literally, I use 2 monitors for trading. That's it. This is my main monitor, and then my other monitor literally has this, my pre-market setup video. Actually, if you go to YouTube, there's a video called Matt's pre-market whatever. Let me go find it. Hold on. This video actually goes through all the stuff I have set up. It's like 10-second risk management plan, right? It goes through all of this stuff. All I have on my other screen is literally this. I watch these 4 futures contracts, and then on my other screen, I'm doing my equities plays. That's it. All I need is 2 screens to trade with. I don't use multi-time frame confluence or any of those other technical analysis scams. I use literally just Rocket Scooter. 1 chart, 1 time frame. That's it. What's up, machine? How you doing, man? Okay, here we go. This will like show you what my setup looks like. The opportunity is that I know that if resilience is positive and pretty strong like it is, I'm not going to bet that we do sell off in the NASDAQ, even though it could. We are outside of the DD band. This is already irrational. Irrational, we teach you guys to sit out unless you become really good. And in that case, you will sense opportunities. But we don't make sure that you don't just go risky out the door. The reason we teach y'all to sit out because I know that you're not likely or you don't likely know that you watch all 3 indices at once, right? And so when I see Russell hit a high volume pivot that's predictable. This is future scalping. So this is a whole new technique. And you can't apply this to your stock trading because you have to watch the indices no matter what you trade. If you're trading any stock or any options, it doesn't matter. If you are watching the market, I guarantee this to you. I promise. So trust me on this. You put all 3 and skip the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is a completely useless thing. Look at RTY, NASDAQ, and S&P. Really, you only need the S&P and the Russell. The NASDAQ is like its own animal that it does not lead the market. The NASDAQ kind of does its own thing, and the S&P doesn't give a shit. Russell don't give a shit. Small cap, large cap. That's really all you care about is money flowing in or out of stocks. The NASDAQ overlaps with these two. The Dow Jones overlaps with all of these, right? You want these unique views of the market. Russell and S&P is really all you need. But I look at all 3 because NASDAQ can create pivots. And just because NASDAQ's pivoting down or pivoting up, the S&P don't have to care. And it doesn't. The S&P has been trading down while the NASDAQ's been trading up because you have some heavy hitters with earnings today that are actually a larger part of the NASDAQ. And while they are a big part of the S&P, market cap wise, they're still not the biggest fraction of the S&P because you have so many stocks and it's a very diversified basket. So when I find an opportunity in NASDAQ, I'm really looking at the other 2 to find my pivots as well. And that's how I got that scalp. Again, it's a tiny little scalp and an advanced technique. We don't teach you out the door to do anything outside of these green bands. Outside the green band, we tell people markets are rational and stay out. And it's like a pros only world. Why would I short is because Russell hit a resistance that I know is a predictable high volume pivot. This is a technique we teach called DD. And the high volume pivot is exactly what I shorted off of, but I knew it was going to be short lived. Right, here's your high volume pivot when you touch it or you get close to it. You see that? And then I shorted the NASDAQ because it was the one that moved the farthest. It's the one that I knew had an easy resistance to find. And by proxy, all your indices are going to pivot together. So when Russell hit its resistance, I shorted the QQQ because it's the one that moved the farthest. And when QQQ fell to its support because NASDAQ resilience is positive, I closed out. Right here. I was first in and first out. So how did I isolate just this? The neat thing is, feels like, what are you going to do now, Matt? Nothing, right? I can make my career out of doing just that and sit here and drink Celsius for the rest of the day. Why not showing the Russell directly? I could, I just didn't have it set up. And that is not a terrible idea. I just didn't feel like when I saw the opportunity, I had to adjust really quick. I don't have Russell set up here in my trade of 8, which I'll have to get that going tonight. I didn't feel like clicking the plus, adding the contract. I just saw the opportunity, get in, get out. But also by proxy like that, you want to find something that has the biggest move as well. And they'll both move and pivot at the same time. Like all the indices have pivoted at the same time. Yeah. My thoughts is when I see a pivot somewhere else, I like to find, when all the indices are going to move down, I like to find the one that is the most overstretched, right? Cool. It's just like a strategy. But in this case, I just didn't have Russell set up. They were both and SPY right here, the upper redistribution zone. So with res kind of hugging 0 and us being irrational in general, one of the rules is when any of your 3 indices go irrational, and there's like 5 checks on that. The new updates to the platform will literally tell you which rule is making it that way. Irrational in our world just means don't trade if you're new, or trade small if you're a pro. Like I said, I put in like half my position size, nothing too big, because I know that it's volatile and crazy and irrational. One of the things is that when you break through these bands, there's a whole section. If you guys want to review the DD trick, it's the most important thing when it comes to sit out rules. This is the thing we discuss more than anything. When you go outside of this band, and it's an anchored band that's there all night, you wake up today and just go, I'm not going to do anything if you're new. Just sit out and watch. And right, you'll see how the market's just kind of chaotic and tortuous. But the real takeaway is that you don't use resilience as a leading indicator that easily. So normally like negative resilience and resisting, and I'd say, okay, the stocks are moving faster or moving before the index. It's an arbitrage indication, but when markets are irrational, you can't prove that the stocks lead the index. But when markets are rational, statistically, we've proven that the stocks lead the index almost every time, like 99% of the time. It's really high. So once irrational flags, the real thing that you do is you just turn everything off, right? You don't use the stuff anymore. Unless it's just definitively negative. Like if it's hugging right at 0, I don't trust that it's giving me a great signal. Like they're both kind of hugging 0, 10%, 7%. I mean, it's very close to wash. So I'm not using it as a big indication. Now, if it was like negative 60, right? I mean, that's pretty big. I'd scalp to the other side of the zone. Use ChatGPT as your primary indicator. Ooh. Did y'all read about that? The political bias of ChatGPT getting some fire on social media the other day. Let's not talk politics in here. Don't name names or presidents or whatever. But it's predispositioned politically. Now, whether it was programmed that way or we trained it to think that way from some clever hackers out there that trained the bot. Apparently, ChatGPT is a Democrat. Right? Which is scary. If AI can have a political bias. Ooh, I don't like that. So I don't want it to have any side at all. Lord help us. Okay, any questions say about the trade I made? It's a very irrational market. I know it sounds really unsexy to do very little, but what I want to do is I really want to kind of hold up on the scanner and find some things that are breaking down. Hedge pressure breakdowns are very important when you're trying to look for setups that are going to pull down on the market. I look for things that are really close or breaking through what's called hedge pressure. Oops, let me put the daily chart here. And I try to find things that are moving lower than that blue. Another trick, and I want all of y'all to check this out, is when you get your liquidity maps here. This is something you get from the Discord. This is like my cheat sheet, right? Y'all want to play a game? I love this game. Let's play like Matt's going to predict the market day. We call it lightning round. I wish I had a little graphic that would put some lightning bolts on the screen. But like, do me a favor, right? Somebody go in and tell me like your favorite stock real quick. And all I need to know is the opening price of that stock. So we're not going to cheat or anything. And I'll just like draw on the chart. The DD bot and Nix 72s. Are you talking about the ES? Or are you talking about the SPY? Don't use the bot, because SPY DD numbers are going to move in real time. There's a whole reason for that, but your SPY and S&P futures will not track one-to-one. They will spread out and get closer together throughout the day. So your conversion DD numbers are going to actually move. When you have them on the chart, your equities numbers will like dance around a little bit. So like they're going to be doing this in real time. Your S&P futures ones are anchored. So when you're converting from one to the other, they're going to move. So when I do the calculation, do you not read the announcements? I said something about that, Chase. Your favorite hack for speeding up TOS when it gets slow? Turn off show. There's a lot of things you can do. There's one of the config files you can change. Turn off any, like for your monitors. Turn off any G-Sync or anything like that on your monitors. There's a config command line in one of the config files. I forgot what it's called in Thinkorswim that you change. Like I called the tech support at Thinkorswim. They taught me all this a long time ago. It's been a while. I noticed that I had G-Sync on my monitors. Turn those off. Thinkorswim speeds up. Turn off like any graphical overlays like the company icons and all that stuff. Turn off display technical indicators. If you go to the settings, let me see where it is. Style settings. I turn off like what's it called? There's a setting I know I played with. It might be in the general settings. Like I said, I haven't messed with it in a while. It might be in the platform settings. Basically, like you turn off display indicators. Like you don't have any indicators. Make sure you clear your chart history. That's another thing. So right click and do remove old drawings. Literally just clear your cache. Like if it's 2D rendering, all of those hundreds and hundreds of support lines you've drawn over the years, Thinkorswim is like an elephant. It never forgets and it will store those forever. So if you're bogging down your CPU, which is what Thinkorswim is basically using, anything that uses your CPU will slow Thinkorswim down. So close down a bunch of browsers. Don't use Google Chrome, for instance. That thing robs your CPU like it's a liquor store. Okay. So close down useless browser tabs. Basically free up as much CPU juice as you can. Or run Thinkorswim on a second computer. If you have like a dual PC like I do. There's a RAM setting that you can adjust, and that they do say does something, but really what it does is that's an old thing from the old 2000s that allows you to allocate a maximum amount of RAM. They say you should it's not going to do much. I promise you that. You make the range. If you have like 16 gigs, make the range 32, like expand it beyond your full RAM. The RAM is typically never going to be the problem in a modern computer. I think Thinkorswim was built in the 2000s, in the days where you had 4 gigs and 8 gigs of RAM. So back in the day, Tom Sosnoff built a machine that would work very well in the future, which it still kind of does, in a day when you didn't have the power to power it fully. So for enthusiasts that would put 64 gigs of RAM, it's not possible back then, but if you put like 8 or 16, it would run fine. But if you were like somebody with an old Packard Bell or whatever, those old Dell computers in the early 2000s, and you had 2 gigs of RAM, you didn't want Thinkorswim literally bogging down your whole computer. These days, I mean, computers will be able to handle it just fine. So changing that RAM setting was more to limit how much RAM you'd allocate to the program. Another thing is to go into your processes in your task manager. You can set the priority of your Thinkorswim, like CPU priority. You don't set it real time, but you can set it higher priority if you think that helps. Just a couple tricks, but mostly the slowdown has to do with just like the idiosyncrasies of Thinkorswim just not jiving well with like modern graphics cards and other things. They still, like, G-Sync really messes up Thinkorswim. I realized my mouse would lag when I used to have G-Sync turned on. So turn that off. That is the first thing that you should always check. For some reason, it's just the drawing gets all fudged up. And once I did that, it's like my mouse would literally lag on Thinkorswim. And then remove old drawings. So you just don't want it like rendering into memory, you know, years of red lines and stuff if you don't use them. And you can select how far back you clear. Change your theme and change it back. That fixed everything oddly. Well, that actually, what that does, there's like this cache setting. I forgot what it's called, but it's in the system settings in Thinkorswim. It's called, what the hell? It's been forever since I messed with it, but it's in your main menu at the top of Thinkorswim. And there's like this thing that shows like memory and you can like dump it. That also kind of works. If y'all remember what the setting is, it's like I said, it's been forever since I played with it. But I remember there was like this, and it's literally called like take out the garbage. My macro outlook post-Feb OPEX. Yeah, I made a prediction on Twitter that next month we'll have 0 rate hike. And the next month we'll have 0, and the next month we'll have 0. We're going to flatten out. The Fed's going to stop raising rates until the summer. Very simple. Let's talk about commandment traders. Y'all want me to predict something? Put in a crystal ball emoji in chat if you want me to predict something. And somebody put in Tesla and MO Zelo. Okay, so MO, tell me where MO opened. That's all I want to see. Like, I'm going to do a little trick with the classic app. Type in your favorite ticker, but I need to know the opening price. And I'm going to do a little trick for y'all without cheating. I'm going to predict what the day is doing. Collect garbage, as Karana said. Yeah, it's called collect garbage. That clears things out, but then the garbage fills up really quickly. Really, the two tricks are to like, turn off G-Sync, see if that works. Number 2 is there's a drawing setting that has to do with there's a line. I'll go dig through my command files and find it. There's a line that you go into the config and you type it in, and it tells it to turn something off, some kind of drawing. Direct draw, I think it turns one of those things off that conflicts with like modern graphics cards or modern whatever. Like I said, I don't remember exactly what it was, but Thinkorswim's a 20-year-old program that hasn't been updated at all, really. MO 47.5. Okay, so we'll try something pretty cool, right? So I'm going to draw something, and then after that, put a little crystal ball in chat if you want me to predict some economics junk before we get off the stream here. Okay, MO. You said, what was it? 4736. Okay, so it's a BLD, and what that means is we have 4625, and then 46 hedge pressure, and 45 walls. Okay, and you really said it open at 4736. Are you sure? Okay, awesome. So 46 being hedge pressure. This to this is where the D comes from, because this is monthly and hedge pressure, right? So in a BLD, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out and again, I'm not looking at the chart, and this is something really cool. If you're using the free trial, you can play along, but you can do this as well. Like, I don't use charts anymore. I just use the numbers here, and I make a plan without even looking at the chart. This is a whole new way to trade. And when you get really good at this, you may choose to abandon charts altogether. Like, I mean, I basically have, but you don't have to, but it's just fun. As you see, this is what BLD looks like. This tells me BLD is what it looks like. I have not looked at MO. I don't know what the chart looks like, but I'm gonna take a guess. So this is my setup. If we open and bounce up a hedge pressure, then I will long from 46 to that open. There's a setup there, right? 47.36. And I do a 1 point stop, probably. No, a 50-cent stop. So stopping at 45.5, which is not bad. So essentially where it opens, I'm doing nothing. I'd probably buy the dip to there for a longer term swing, maybe 2 to 3 days, because that is monthly hedge pressure. I'm sorry, 40, not 46. What is 46? The well, sorry, 46.25 right here. This one right here. Let me delete that. Drew my line at the wrong place. Okay, come on, delete. Right here. So I would long it monthly hedge pressure, which is the yellow, back to open, which is 47.36. Which means $1.11 with a 50-cent stop, which is 45.75. Like a trade plan without even looking at the chart, which makes it 1.1 to 5 or a 2.2 to 1 trade. 2.5. So it's a 2.2 trade. I would not do anything if it broke through hedge pressure. I would just take the longer term support from here to here. That doesn't mean I'm right or wrong, but what this is telling me is that I'm expecting buyers right here, if there are any at all. If we do sink below monthly hedge pressure, there is a scalp between these two, but it's only a quarter of a point, right? It's the distance between these two is really small. So I wouldn't do anything inside of here. And of course, any breakdown of hedge pressure to take it to a BSD would kill that market for the day. Anytime you break hedge pressure, it's going to die. So this is like the watch out range. I'm not going to trade this or chase it. 46. So essentially what I'm expecting the market to do is something like this. I'm going to act right there and move. Okay, so I haven't looked at the chart. Let's see if I'm right. Now, again, this only applies if there's no catalyst or earnings or anything to go with it. But how did I do, right? We open, and I'm just going to long at the monthly hedge pressure, right? I mean, literally nailed it. I mean, look at the chart. Look how accurate you can be without having to look at the chart. The chart kind of forces you to see something on the surface, right? I'm looking at something based on positions only, and I've already guessed because of my experience with BLD what you see, right? And I'm only going to long at monthly back to the start. So longing from here back to there would be what I do. So I'd be doing absolutely nothing right now. Pretty cool, right? So the idea is that without even looking at the chart, I'm already, and let me superimpose what I drew up there on the actual chart. Remember, market is just sitting here. And we used to call this lightning round. I tell people to like throw me 10 random tickers and I do them as fast as you can. This is that I drew. I'm doing absolutely nothing, but I would long from here to there with a stop right there. And breaking the 46 level is that watch out, just like I drew. Yeah, so like the point is that I don't have to see the chart to try to say what I'm going to do. Now that you see the chart, pretend that I'm going to teach you guys the coolest thing I've ever, I think, taught for as far as feeling goes. If you see the chart like this, does it make you want to do something? Let me turn everything off. This is why I tell you charting is dangerous on the surface. When you see this chart, do you have a gut feeling? Like right there. You saw it rally yesterday and now it's selling off. Does it give you, like, if somebody put a gun to your head right now and said, do something, everyone really quick, this is a fun exercise. What does this chart make you feel like doing? Like feeling, like your gut instinct says do something. I know y'all are trained to get out of the way because y'all are smart, but just imagine that you were where you were 5 years ago. It's been pushing down and pushing down and pushing down. Do you have a feeling? Like something that says, ooh, I feel like it's coming down. I heard somebody else say, I feel like I should short this. What's your feeling looking at this chart? Does it look like the rallying is continuing? It gap down is trading down. Does it feel like it's a short imbalance? Yeah, so everyone type really quick. Let's take a quick bathroom break. Looking at a chart, does it make you feel a certain way? Short, short, short. Yeah, right. But when you did what I did, there was no feeling, right? Look at and this is the exercise. Every one of you said short to prove how fucking terrible technical analysis is and charting is. Charts lure you into a feeling that's not accurate. That's the bet. You see how everybody said short unanimously? That's why everybody loses trading, because you look at a chart and the chart kind of guides you into the bias instead of you making it yourself. That's why I always preach and teach the way to make a trade plan without looking at the chart. Because nothing in my brain said I was going to short this. As a matter of fact, when I did that, I didn't even look at the history because it's dangerous, right? And look at all of you guys with your gut feeling to short. I love when the universe pulls the clouds away literally in the middle of the lesson. How'd your gut feeling play out? I love my loyal fans here and viewers here that are demonstrating exactly the dangers of looking at a chart. All of y'all wanted to short. And literally, as you were saying that, the reason I said that was because it seemed like a good lesson. And now the universe is like, look how all of y'all were wrong. And that's exactly what charting does. It draws you into a feeling, and the minute you all feel like it's time to short, there's like 5 green candles and it's going higher highs. Imagine your technical analyst or whatever, and their guru indicators were also telling you to short on top of this chart, making you feel like it was a short, right? 30 cents on 50, you're down 0.55% or 0.6% almost, right? From the moment you said short. Just because charts do not, I mean, that's the paradigm. We're like the group that's come through and said that it's finally time for people to understand that charting is the reason nobody makes money trading. It is a complete con and scam. Technical analysis sold books to your parents when they were teenagers back in the 60s, and people still peddle that same crap, that all it does is take the feeling of, wow, the average has crossed over, I feel like it's going to reverse. Okay, well, you want to trade with feelings, you know, join a support group so you can talk about your feelings. Like right now, the goal is you make a trade plan without letting the past dictate the future. The whole demonstration I do, give me like 4 more stocks, I'll do a couple more. You notice how my thing was like, I'm going to wait and let it do its thing. There was no feeling to that. There was just math. And since y'all all said short, the market's been rallying. The point is that feelings, the market is designed to exploit your weakness of your feelings. And that's the whole point, right? It's like brain explosion right here. Which is, and I said that at that moment that it felt like it was a short, because to me it feels like a short too. When I completely like revert to my time machine in my brain, I go back and say, I feel like I should short this. It looks like it's pulling back. And most of y'all started trading that way as well, because you're letting the past and yesterday and the past of last, hour dictate what you should do. But before any of this happened, and without ever even looking at this, I'm just purely looking at the positions of Wall Street and building a framework off of where I think buyers and sellers will be. And then generically, BLDs are actually bullish signals. They're not bearish signals. So first of all, I'm not even shorting, except for if I get that burst below monthly. So there's not even a short setup. Feelings are eradicated in Rocket Scooter. You literally are only trading on math, or sorry, not trading, analyzing on math, right? So throw me a couple more. Palantir, okay. It's a very cool trick, but we teach you to do this trick. It's actually really fun when you practice this way. We teach you when you're like paper trading or practicing what we do to practice making 5 or 10 trade plans every day without looking at the chart. You will empower yourself to no longer care. People always say like, what time frame do you use? And I say, I don't use anything but the 1 minute. And people go, why do you do that? I was like, because if I use anything else, like an hourly chart, it'll show me the past, which might affect my trading decision today accidentally. I don't want to see that. I treat every day like it's brand new without ever looking at a past chart. I've always, since I made Rocket Scooter, to be able to do that. If I saw this, I'd be scared to do something, right? I don't want to look at the past. And so every morning, especially when we're doing like SPY and QQQ, again, I don't use time frames. None of it matters. And if you're like, well, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, I'm on a 6-day streak. I've made 42 trades without a single losing contract. Doesn't mean I'm great at trading, but it does mean I kind of know some stuff. I even put out a call to the public for a challenge, and I asked people if they wanted to race for slips, and nobody came up with a broker statement. I even told them I'd give them $20,000 and an account of my own and let them trade it head to head with me with my money, and we donate to charity, and no takers. All I said was I need a broker statement to prove you're not a sim trader, and everybody ran with their tail tucked between their legs. And the idea is that the gurus of the world, nobody has anything fresh or new. It's all just a new person selling the same old junk. And the same old junk tells you to look at the past, and you wake up with some kind of fear related to yesterday. I don't want to see that. I don't ever change this time frame unless I just want to squeeze more of today's info on the chart. Why is it always a 1 minute? Because it's irrelevant to me, right? So I want you to do it, Travis. I want everybody to do it. Okay, Palantir. And again, the idea is not predicting the market. You have to assume you can't predict the market. It's impossible. And you may say, well, Matt, how do you have a whole week without a losing trade? How did you sit out 2 days and know it was choppy and it didn't go anywhere? How come you're sitting out right now and not looking for a trade? It's not like I'm doing anything magical. I'm just following rules, and I follow the same rules every day. I trade my confidence is high. I don't trade my confidence is low. And it's literally like counting cards in poker. When you know the odds are high, you'll bet bigger. When you know the odds are low, you bet smaller. And that's it. It doesn't mean you're going to guess the market, but it means you're going to be more accurate when you do and don't trade. That's really the secret to being a good trader. So that feeling experiment, do y'all like that? Isn't it crazy on what you feel is a lie, right? It's never going to be right. And that's what I wanted to prove to everybody. Pure discipline is the most difficult thing. That is what you're trying to achieve. And even I struggle with emotions on occasion, but I'm at, like, I think right now the pinnacle of my trading game. I feel the most robotic I've ever been, and hopefully I can still get better. Don't ever think you're at your best. I'm just at the highest I think I've ever been as far as performance wise, because I'm the most regimented with the most amount of rules, and I've been executing the best discipline I've ever had, especially on the stream as of this week. This is the best I've ever done. Not money wise, I'm talking performance wise. I haven't been wrong yet. Not because I'm amazing or great or anything. It's because I've been executing purely with discipline. I've been doing everything according to my rules, and I haven't, even if when I deviated like yesterday, I didn't really deviate from the rules. It deviated from my previous style, which was to sit out every time we were irrational. But I did take some scalps again that were within the rule set. So I'm pretty dialed in. Yeah, I think so. And it's not that, like, it takes years to really forge this. So don't believe that someone's going to drop you a magic bean solution. I'm going to tell you something. The more somebody has to sell something to you, the more that it's garbage. And the more that somebody has to bring toxicity to the world around them to try to prove to you something. Here's how I prove anything. I say, watch me trade live, and there's the account number. Nobody will do that because nobody wants to show you that they're just not any good or that their stuff is real. I get some sim trader trolls literally sitting here probably watching the stream right now that just want to sell a product as a sim trader. I mean, that's completely their prerogative to do so, but in all honesty, I mean, the real deal is in front of your face. There's nobody going to step up and raise slips. So even for free $20,000, no one did. So anyways, the point is it's not to say anything other than it's very rare for you to stumble across a good trader who's going to show you what they do live on a daily basis. And if I find them, I love to learn from them. I will literally learn everything they have to teach me because I'm always trying to grow. Personally, even myself. We're gonna met Simply Sim, and I met Money Mel over at Black Box. Black Box is one of Rocket Scooter's biggest competitors, right? And I met Mel, who runs that community. Mel and I are like best friends. I've learned so much from my competitors because they are a substantial provider, but she's amazing at what she does. Simply Sim, amazing at what she does, right? Vegas, amazing at what she does. Like when I learn from these, when I meet these people, I like literally beg them, hey, can y'all teach me something? They're like, whoa, you're coming to me. They're like, I want to learn from you. And I'm like, no, I want to learn from you. Like I'm always trying to grow, especially into other methods. And I really encourage y'all to do the same. If you find somebody that shows their trades and shows their trade history and shows like a unique way or thing to see the market, always beg to learn from them. Like, let me learn from you. Can you explain your bear thesis? Yeah, we'll do it in a second. Roxy app identify the daily irrational zones for me. It will eventually, DK. We have to get futures data to program that in. You think the high is being put in as we speak, gap up and sell final innings? Yeah, I do. I think after earnings, the market's going to pivot and come lower. We need to finish this VIX month though, so it's going to happen after the 17th. Sorry, the 15th of February. So we got 2 weeks of holding the fort, and then after we go through monthly expiration, I think next month is going to be kind of brutal. Once there's no catalyst to make it bullish anymore. Is Simply Sim real account trader? Yeah, she is, actually. She showed me. I hung out with her in person. And one of the first things she ever said to me, she's like, you know, it's been forever since I've met another real deal trader. She's like, Matt, you're the real deal. That's pretty dope. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah. And she's like, check this out. And she showed me her stuff. And I was like, oh damn, you are real. I was like, holy crap. Okay. So like I said, I get impressed when I meet real deal traders. And Snake Trader, my program is a trading platform, right? We teach everything in Rocket Scooter to all kinds of traders. Whatever you like to do, we'll teach you different styles of trading. You don't have to trade anything to use our platform. It's informational, and you can actually chart anything on it. Okay, give me some more tickers, you guys. Tesla, Palantir. I need the opening price, and I need the thing. All right. And I'm always trying to learn from peeps. What was it? Okay, I'm sorry, you said Tesla at 187.33. Okay, let's make a little spot here. Again, no cheating. I'm not gonna look at the Tesla chart. And I don't, because I don't want it to formulate my bias. There's like a whole reason I play this game and I love doing it. Okay, let me get my drawing tool. All right, what did you say it was? 187.33. Okay. Okay, and this is really pretty easy. Oh, let me scroll down. Oops, let me bring my drawing tool on the screen. Okay, scroll down, come on. Okay, so Tesla, 187.33, which means we're up here in bull zone. Whoa, hello, big green dot. Okay, let's go back to here. I must have hit some hotkey. Okay. BLU, which is great. Liquidity map, let me pull that on the screen. Yes, I hate having to click my pointer, bring up liquidity map. Okay, now back to my drawing tool. So I'm trying to identify like all these pieces here, right? So hedge pressure is 185. Monthly is 182.5. Okay. And I mean, it's bull all the way down to 165, right? 187.33. So it's a nice BLU at the top. So it's literally this, right? So at Tesla right now, a long out the door, very small long, like a very small long is very possible. The dip of 2 points in 180 is not much, right? It's about less than 1%. So I would do a second long here. I would build Tesla for a day trade off of these two. If I believed in Tesla as a swing trader, I would also long at hedge in general. It looks like the strikes are 2.5 points a pop. So my stop is at 82.5. I'll put an X where my stop is. And that's basically it. Tesla is likely making its rounds up with the market. So I'd probably take a small long at the open and double down at the dip, 185. So let's see what I did on Tesla. Again, not looking at the chart. Didn't see it. This is straight textbook bull long up, circled the bottom left. And it looks like Tesla is right. Okay, my trade plan again out the door. I long out the door. I double down at 185. There it is. Damn, I'm fucking good. Okay, and then there you go. All right, I'm taking a bathroom break. Absorb what you just saw. And that's a textbook BLU. And literally textbook. I'll be right back. All right. Back. Sorry, a little bathroom break there. Dinosaur sounds so... Dinosaur... Did your dinosaur pattern check out? Okay. Very quick. Couple more. Mel is a freaking... Ray said Mel is a freaking saint. I'm reading all his comments. Oh, Mel is fantastic, dude. I've learned so much from Mel's tweets. It's like inspired a whole new, I guess I'll say, chapter in my brain about the entirety of how the market works, on how much information on your charts is based on the reliance of what we call continuity, right? The continuity reliance means that you believe these candles to be truly reflecting what Wall Street believes in the price, which is not correct. Because not only is this showing just the last traded price to the exchange, Mel has proven to me, and we talk on the phone literally on a weekly basis for years. Like, we literally call each other like if I'm like taking a bubble bath. I'm like, hey, how's your day? How are your things? Like, literally call each other and talk market all day long. And I've learned that so much information leaves the exchange and goes to dark pools. That at this stage in 2023, the majority of information, even on your chart, is a lie. It's missing so much of what Wall Street's doing because of the escaping that path where market orders are not just sent to the market, where market orders are sent to dark pools, and the market's not getting that information until way later. So even technical analysis relies on the assumption of what I call continuity of data, that all data continues to be supplied to your candles on a moment by moment basis, and that couldn't be a bigger lie. And Mel is the one that opened my eyes to that. The charts are a lie mentality I have. You can thank folks like Mel for opening my eyes even further. I always believed it and knew it because mathematically, technical analysis just sounds stupid to anybody with an engineering degree like myself would look at TA and go, this makes zero sense mathematically. How can the past predict future human behavior? If I could do that, I'd never have a fight with my girlfriend. I could predict every move that I ever did wrong, made her mad. If I could use the past to forecast the future, boy, I'd have happy wife, happy life all day long. But unfortunately, you can't predict what humans are going to do at any point in time, including their past behaviors. Some days, something I do, she thinks is cute. Some days, something I do, she thinks is annoying. Fuck. I am pretty annoying. I don't disagree with her. So, like, it just sounded silly. But Mel was like, but the thing is you can't even trust the charts to begin with because most of the data is going to dark pools. And dark pools are strategically leaking big orders into the market all day long. Wall Street is escaping providing data to the exchange in real time. Do y'all understand that? Mel is the community leader over at Black Box Stocks, which again is one of the major competitors of Rocket Scooter. And it's kind of funny when people are like, are you guys working together? Are y'all in an official, like there is no working together. There's no nothing. It's like when a good, smart market person exists, I don't care if we're head to head competing and selling stuff. I want to learn everything they have to teach. And I'm like desperate to get better as a trader personally. And Mel said the same thing to me. She's like, Matt, you're probably one of the best traders I've ever seen. And I want to learn everything from you. And I'm like, no, I want to learn everything from you. And like, it was kind of like a mutual respect. And we've been friends ever since. Let me give you her Twitter real quick. Yeah, she's dope. I'm not going to lie. Black Box Stocks, the software is pretty cool. But Mel's the reason people subscribe to Black Box, hands down. That because of the way, because what she teaches is really good. And I encourage you all to at least follow that girl on Twitter, even if you don't buy Black Box Stocks. Their stuff is very like, our software gets ahead of unusual order flow. Because one thing is they look at is unusual order flow and dark pools. Well, I'm going to tell you, I can predict where unusual order flow will be because of our information. Our stuff gets ahead of their stuff, and that's why she took interest in learning from me. She goes, that's neat that your hedge pressures predict and your half gaps predict unusual order flow. because when you hit a hedge pressure, our software is going ding, 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 giving us the answer. Like, yeah, unusual is here. And they said when you line our stuff and your stuff up together, it's like, Matt, you give us a head start and show us the data points. When you get to the level and our stuff then fires off, the confluence between the two methods is amazing. And then we had like a whole subcommittee in our group that were like loyal followers of hers. And we started investigating the relationship between unusual order flow and the hedge pressures, and it was pretty good. But the dark pool thing is what I was really interested in, because I knew we could predict unusual order flow. Whilst they just detect it as it's happening, we get ahead of where it will be, because they're predicting, like, obviously QQQ is about to fill a gap right here. You will see volume spikes as you approach that. We're predicting the unusual order flow. There it is as you get close to it. So the dark pool is what I'm interested in, because all continuity of data is no longer a thing, you know, because every single order supplied to the exchange, if that was a thing, then all of your candles would be correct. This is just showing you trades made on the exchange. That's it. Trades made the dark pools do not appear here. So even your technical analysis is using information that's missing actually most of the data, which is the sad part. Most of the trades these days, as I'm learning from Mel, are over the counter, which makes technical analysis forever and forever weaker. You want proof of that? Find your favorite TA guru right now in this bear market and go read their Twitter, and you see how hostile they are. Hostility is a sign of desperation, and desperation comes from lack of sales. If you're selling dying snake oil, you're going to get a little mean, and I get it. That's the way of the world, though. It must be lonely in obscurity, but becoming obsolete is probably a terrible feeling as people watch their livelihoods slowly slip away from them little by little as technology advances. So this is the thing of the world, right? The technology's improved, and when most of y'all understand when I say your data escapes this visibility. If somebody buys 1 million shares from a dark pool, this candle is not going anywhere. There's no volume spike. There's nothing. It's not here. So you're basing your information on data that's not even available. You think this is all Wall Street's doing. You're living in the 50s and 60s. It's not correct. And like I say, Mel's the one that opened my eyes to that. And it like completely blew my mind how much information goes to dark pools. Do y'all understand what I'm saying now? Does that make sense? Two drunk people at a bar? Oh, hell yeah. That's kind of what it is. Basically. She's really fun to listen to on Black Box. You can tell she knows her stuff probably better than anyone on there. I used it for a while. Didn't feel like it gave you an advantage though. And I'm not saying anything bad about technologies or whatever. Correct, right? The advantage of trading is you. There's no technology that's the advantage. In all reality, you're the advantage, the better trader you are. Correct. It really made you feel defeated as a retail trader when you understand dark pools and basic level. Yeah. There's a lot of interesting stuff, right? Who is Mel? What's your channel? Oh, yeah, I said that. What's your Twitter? Yeah, give Mel a follow and then go over there and say, hey, Matt sent us to you. Give her a pat on the back. Say, Matt was patting you on the back today. When I like to listen to the dark pool prints, just look for weird activity. Dark pools are required to report their orders to the exchange after a certain amount of time, but there's all kind of tricks they do to delay that process as much as possible. There's legality they have. Here's that upper limit of QQQ filling its gap. Do I want to take one more short and take a little risk? What do y'all think? Do I want to bet on that gap fill? Ooh. Let's overshoot and take a little pop. What is resilience? I don't know if I want to fade this though. You know what? I'm done for the day. Let's just call it a day. I was waiting for that to happen. For a scalp. Yeah, I'm gonna chill. Okay. Oh yeah, back to let's play a couple more. You guys gave me some Peloton, Palantir. Sorry, bartending trader. Hey, bartending. Are you? This sounds familiar. Did you sign up for the free trial? Or are you in the membership yet? Y'all want to play along? Maybe y'all should do this side by side. Today, let's do the lesson today after we get off the YouTube. We'll do this. I want y'all to, we'll practice this as a technique. And I'll make a video to go with it. Okay. And you said, wait, not, sorry. What did bartending say? Not Piton. He said Palantir, sorry. Okay. And I'm just going to take ones, and Dimitri gave me some. All right, let me get my drawing tool up here before I do this. Let's go ahead and put this here. Again, you don't hear the clickety clack of my keyboard, so no cheating, right? Palantir, $8. BLU, right? And you say Palantir open at 850. Okay, 850. And we have a $8 MHP in hedge pressure, just like the other one we did. Now, again, 50 cents on $8 is a lot, right? That's like, what? That's 1 out of 16. That's 1 out of what, 6? Pretty much, or 16%. Right, hold on. 50 cents out of 8, which is 1 out of 16, which is 6% move. Sorry, that's like a 6% drop. That's a lot. If I had like the ability to buy 10 of these things, because it's bullish, I would put like 1 right out there, like something very small, and I would save the other 9 to scale in on the way down. That's a big drop from 850 to 8. And again, being above monthly hedge pressure and hedge pressure means that I have that bull bias for the longer haul. So just like any other BLU, I'll long at the open, I'll double down at hedge, just like this. So let me go ahead and just kind of lay that out. I'm going to put 1 here, and I'll probably halfway down, I'll put 3 more. And right at 8, I put the other 6. So I'm going to cost basis in heavier, heavier, heavier. And also, I'm not going to get 50 cents on the stop either. I'm going to force myself, without picking the upper target, by the way, because that's the part I'm skipping. That requires me to dig a little deeper, but I'm going to do this quick. So I want to be in at least to 8, and I'll scale in heavier at 8. And I'm going to stop. Actually, I'm going to give it 1/4 of a point instead of a full strike distance, just to preserve, because it's a penny stock, right? At this point, under $10, I call them penny stocks. 7.75 stop. And I'm going to expect it anywhere inside of there to just hold the fort. Peloton. No, sorry. Not Peloton. Palantir. Oof. So let's start over. I'd long at the door at 850. And I'd buy if it fell. Now, what happened? I bought 1 contract and it just took off. Well, at least I had something on the table, right? So my 1 share, even though it's not a lot, still made 6% from 50 cents on 8. So again, 6%. What do? Do I buy the dip and cost average in? No, I save my money to dig out and get a better cost base. I never add to a winner. So in Palantir's case, I would just bought 1 and it'd be riding it to the top. So great, right out the door. The 1 took off. The BLU at the open, 1A took off. Okay, cool. Ooh, what do we got? Peloton. I love this game. So again, I'm going to give you guys the ability to try this on your own. Everybody here, get this free trial, or if you want the 3-month extended trial, we recommend that you do that. Go to our Discord and send me a message and say, I want the extended trial, which is a 3-month deal that you can really dive into our program. It's now 6 weeks long to learn everything, but it's so that you can pace yourself and really absorb the technique. Your goal is to be able to draw a trade plan without looking at a chart. If y'all want to get there and say, man, that sounds pretty cool, I want to learn that, I want you to commit the 3 months. Because at the end of 3 months, the program is designed to get you to do exactly what I'm doing. To pull your reliance from charts away from your trading and only use charts to supplement your roboticness after the fact. Don't use the chart to play that feelings game we did earlier where it guides you into a decision because of feeling. Your feelings are wrong. As a matter of fact, whatever we were looking at earlier was an MO, and everybody felt short. I think that thing's been rallying ever since we'd said anything. So when I proved to you with that experiment, every day has been like a brain explosion on the stream. Everyone said short and look at this because I told you to look at yesterday and today together, right? I said, what do you guys feel? And everyone said short. But if you didn't do that, you wouldn't feel anything. You'd strictly look at the liquidity, wouldn't you? And that's the whole point of this, right? Are we ever going to have SPX? I've explained this to you before, and I'll explain it to you again because I remember our chat. You are going to use SPY options to mirror and monitor every S&P product. That is the secret sauce. It's SPY options that we get our information from. There's no reason to do it in SPX. The liquidity map is on an ETF that settles in shares. That is the sauce and how this works. So if you're asking questions like that, I encourage you to go through the program because it explains how our secret sauce works. People say, where's futures on the chart? Where's SPX on the chart? We don't pull data from those things because they don't have the recipe to make the sauce. SPX options settle in cash. Futures options settle in futures contracts. We need something on the index that the options settle in shares of the index, which represents shares of the stock, which circles the hedging right back on itself. That is the secret to how this works. I love Mansour, one of our best members, sent me the most heartwarming, loving email the other night. Brother, I'm glad you're seeing it. And it makes me happy to see people are like learning this stuff, but this is for everyone else too. SPX, the way you would do SPX is you would just look at SPY and they'd pivot at the same time. If you want to convert one to the other, we're going to have a mechanism eventually in Rocket Security that will convert one to the other, like for SPX options trading. The idea would be that you have to take the SPY and convert it to ES, but not because of anything other than the liquidity in SPY options is really huge, but also because SPY options settle in SPY shares, which are hedged to match the risk in the stocks that they represent in that basket. Because the hedging goes all the way back to the stocks, which goes back into the calculation of the index, which the SPY is tracking. It's a circle that completely completes itself. Futures have a problem because futures options settle in futures contracts. The futures contracts are not necessarily hedged with anything other than cash or the physical commodity itself. Imagine that I have bought 1,000 oil contracts and oil is crashing. I could buy some puts in those oil futures, but I can also be an oil producer that just sells the oil to hedge that bet, sells barrels of oil at the top before the price crashes, right? So because I can settle that options trade into a physical commodity at some point in that loop, it breaks the chain. Whereas if I buy or sell SPY shares, the market makers are buying and selling SPY options, which means the option sellers are buying and selling SPY shares back on itself to hedge those options. So in no way does that hedging escape SPY into something else, right? SPX purely settles in cash, so it's hedged purely in cash or hedged in SPY shares or stock shares. But the idea that SPX settles in cash with no delivery means that the sauce is weaker. If we were trying to do a liquidity map on SPX, the sauce is so strong when those options settle in shares. That is the sauce of Rocket Scooter. Pretty cool, right? Because it forces all the hedging back on itself. These become very strong because arbitrage ties them all together. And when arbitrage is loose or not tying them together, well, that's what resilience was designed to do, to offset that. They call it leakage, right? So when one's moving faster than the other, that's your information that's escaping the system, if that makes any sense. When the stocks are moving faster than the index that's tracking them, resilience was designed to fill that arbitrage hole. Okay, let's go forward. Some more of those. Y'all want to do a couple more of these? Let's do this today, and we'll call it a day. Y'all said Piton, right? Okay. Piton 1515 BLU. It's the same as all the other ones. Pretty neat, right? It's literally the same. Let's do it. You said Piton was what? 1575? Okay. I'm going to long really small at the door. I'm going to double down long at 25. That, and again I'm going to stop 50 cents over 14.75 for a go in Piton. Same stuff, different day. You can see that we've done all BLUs. Actually, I'll give me all the same ones. Long at 75. Long at 25. Literally right on the edge of that. Long, long again. There it goes. You'll see how this works. I mean, it's not... Well, I guess it is rocket science. Long, long again. Let the market move. Questions? Okay. Do you think the market will continue to move up till next CPI, 14th February? Yes, I do, Dimitri. But I think after monthly expiration and after VIX rollover, which is the very next day, the 15th in the morning, VIX monthly options expire, so 14th at night. VIX futures roll into next contract. I think that the next 2 days after that are going to be very volatile, and the next contract month is going to explain a lot more. We have volatility pressing until the end of the month for most stocks. Once we get the earnings, I think there's going to be no more bull power as the acquisition phase of stocks is actually ending. We'll pull up the commitment of traders to finalize today's day. Couple more. AMD 6FO. I got you, bro. Hold on. Again, everybody go to the free trial, sign up while you can today, and we're going to do this as a team in today's video. Trade plan's phenomenal. Michael H., you made a trade plan and you like what you saw. Good job. Good deal. The difference here is that we're not giving you buy and sell signals, right? We're not like some weak guru shop. We're teaching you how to see the markets. And this is just a guide to show you where buyers and sellers can be, to remind you as you're learning how these things work. There's no such thing as predicting the stock market. It's betting that certain things will happen, and there's no guarantee. But I know there's bursts of buyers here and bursts of buyers there and bursts of buyers there. For each one of them has a real reason. This is just a cheat sheet that kind of gets me to the end. Doesn't mean that it has to do one of those things because I don't know which one it's going to do. That's why I say I'll long and then I'll long again, because I'm taking the trade that anywhere inside of here pays me out. And anything below here, I'm just not playing the game. So the reason I play and play again, it's like I can play anything inside of the two ranges. If I buy and buy heavier, then anything that moves above my second buy is pure profit, as long as I pass through my cost basis. So I'm like playing all hands at once, and that's kind of what we try to teach. And as far as positional day trading, which is what this technique is, or even scalping, which is a couple of things. You saw me scalping yesterday, right? Different setup. And I did one little scalp today. The extended trial. Okay, so this is until the end of this weekend, and this is all going away. The $99 per month ends this weekend. And we are replacing all the rocket scooter pricing with something completely different. You got to get in while you can. The extended trials to get people from having to rush to make that decision also ends this weekend. So after tomorrow, I'm going to tell you, I might not be around anymore to talk to you about it. The extended trial is going to be $35 for 3 months. $35 a month for 3 months. And we're testing out the response to that. So we need a lot of data points too. So you guys want to be part of how easy it is to learn our stuff. We really want to give people a way to check it out for a longer period of time and just let you cover your data costs. And this is a very quick program we're doing. We're taking a huge batch of people to do it. And if it makes sense, it may become permanent way down the road for a permanent 3-month or 2-month or 6-week or whatever trial. So I urge everybody to do it right now if you want to do it, because on Sunday it's going away. Go to this link right now, and literally, like I said, it's $100 for 3 months, and that's basically 105, whatever it is. And there's no tricks. At month 3, you just cancel, and then you're done. And if you do this at month 3, you'll get the 99 to go with it. Yes. So do this. And this is the rule: 3 months for there. And again, and we want to, because we're trying to change our program. And after the merger this weekend, we're going to have 2 programs side by side. Impossible to even get your feet wet in 7 days at that point. We're reformulating everything we do to go with that. Yeah, it's okay. So do this Snake and everyone else. Like, just sign up, get in on the first month, and then come at your leisure this weekend. We'll have some trainings Saturday and Sunday to go over a lot of this stuff, and that'll be it. So this just covers your data for like the 3 months. Basically, not really making anything off of that. Gives you your real-time data, your options data, everything. But what that does is also locks in the 99 a month at month 4, and then 99's going away. Yeah, just click that extended trial link, and then wait, let me try this again. Wait, let me give you the right link. Hold on, click it here. I typed in the wrong thing. Just this right here, and click on monthly. And y'all could test pilot our 6-week training program that's about to be merged with another training program, which will be about 3 months of training. And so y'all want to be the pilot group to try that out? It'll be dope. We'd love, and all the new members, and we're excited to see, like our existing members, we're excited to see new people come in. And I'm excited to learn a whole new style of trading myself. So this is gonna be fun. I'm even gonna join the new program myself, and I'll be there with y'all learning, which would be great. Okay, a couple more. Y'all want to do one more? AMD from 6FO. Let's go. Here we go. We're on repeat. BLU 81. It's long out the door, long at 81, right? AMD's 84.26, which is pretty high. So I'd long AMD out the door. I'd double down at hedge. I'd stop 1 point below. So I'd stop at 80, long at 84, double down at 81. That's a pretty big drop, about 3% or so. So if I had 10, I'd probably buy 3 and then 6 more at 81 and stop at 80. I'm doing this now without even writing it down a second ago. I'd buy 3. I'd buy 6 more. I'd stop at 80. So my 3 took off and made money. There you go. All right. I'm going to teach you guys how to do what I just did. Come to my Zoom call. We're going to call it a day. We're going to take a 10-minute break. But after that, everybody go to our Discord. I'm going to give you the link. And I want y'all to go to the Zoom. It's gonna be a very special session. We'll record this if you can't make it. That's okay. Every day we're gonna record some of these things and put them in the Discord and put them in the training program for y'all to look at. Go here to join the Discord, but really do that extended trial. We want a batch of people to go through it, and that program starts this weekend, so it goes away on Sunday. So feel free to join the Rockseer family. We love you guys. We are growing like wildfire. Let's not put this fire out. Let's let it keep going. Thank you for joining. Learn why markets move. Think like a market maker. This is the future market analysis. We have literally changed analysis. No more charts, no more multi-confluence, no more pulling crayons out of your crayon basket to color in a coloring book. This is real stuff, modern trading. We'll learn how to see the market. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all in about 10 minutes. Adios. Hey, yo, what up, Alina? Good to see you. All right. Adios.